Hey, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Today I'm going to start my single seed challenge over because, well, this one didn't work. I'm also going to divide some tomato seedlings and get ready for spring. Love it if you join me. Let's go. Okay, so here I am at my potting table, and I have to start my single seed challenge over again because, well, look at it. It's been several weeks now, and that fish pepper seed did not germinate. And that's the thing with single seed challenge. If it doesn't work out for you, start over. Try again. I'm going to use the same seed. I've got the fish pepper seed that was sent to me by Rachel Andorfer over at Oxheart Gardening. And so fish pepper, everybody that saw me do my single seed challenge that has grown fish peppers before, encouraged me to really enjoy this particular variety. It's supposed to be variegated. Now that I know what I'm growing here, a fish pepper that's variegated, I remember Rachel growing these before. So yeah, it'll be nice to grow another generation of that plant. So I'm going to start my single seed challenge over again. I'm going to use fresh seed starting mix, and we're going to get that going now. I also have some tomato seedlings that I dense planted. I sowed them all in cells. If you saw my spring seed starting video, you saw me sprinkle a whole seed pack in 6 cells in my seed starting tray. I'll show you what those plants look like now, and I'll show you what we're going to do with them now that they're big enough to up pot. Real simple. I'm going to just take this little 2.5-inch pot. I'm going to fill it with pre-moistened potting soil, seed starting mix actually. And this is pre-moistened because it's been sitting out here in the rain, and it's actually just at the right level of moistness. I'm going to mash that down in there. Again, when starting seeds, you don't need a lot of nutrition in the soil because the seed provides its own nutrition until it gets large enough to up pot or to put in a larger pot or to pot it out in the garden. And that's when you need nutrition in the soil. As long as those seeds are small, they don't need much nutrition because, well, they're carrying it in their first set of leaves, the cotyledons. When they start to get true leaves, that's when they need a little bit of nutrition in the soil. So let's select a seed and restart our single seed challenge. Okay, so fish peppers. There we go, the first seed that came out. That is my new single seed challenge seed, that one seed. I'm going to plant that one. I'm going to save the rest in case this one doesn't take. I'll keep doing it until I get one. That's what you need to do. If you have a single seed challenge effort that fails, don't give up. Start over. There's plenty of time in the year. That's part of the whole thing. Some seed germination isn't going to go your way. You're going to sometimes struggle with getting a single seed to challenge because germination rates aren't always 100%. In fact, very rarely are they 100%. Sometimes seed germination rates can be like 50-50. You know, you don't know if you're going to get one. It's like flipping a coin. So there's my little seed going in. Can you see it there? I think I've lost track of it in there. There it is in that hole. We're going to cover it up. We're going to water it in, and I'm going to take the label from my old single seed challenge, since it still says fish pepper, and I'm going to use that over. All right, we now have a new single seed challenge planted. What I'm going to do is put this in a plastic baggie so that it will retain the moisture and the humidity, and I'm going to put this under my grow lights where all my other peppers are doing great, and we'll hope to get a fish pepper plant come up out of here. That baggie will act as like one of these domes over here, these plastic domes that cover your seed tray. They keep the humidity in and give a nice warm environment for the seed to germinate. And once the seed gets up and seems pretty strong, you can start to work that little plastic baggie off and let that seed get acclimated to the regular environment that it has to live in. So let's water this in and take it to the seed tray. Take it to the seed lights. Man, I'm tongue-tied today. Got some rainwater out of my barrel here. I'll just water this in really well. I want that seed to be in good contact with the soil, and I want there to be enough moisture in here to provide a humid environment inside the plastic bag I'm going to place it in. That feels about right. A little bit more. It will soak down into this medium and distribute itself throughout this pot. That's about what I want right there. All right, I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag. just like that. And I'm going to seal it up. There we go. Now I have a little moisture dome on my pot. We can put that under the lights. Hopefully this time a single seed challenge will grow. Check out all these tomato seedlings. They're all planted together in these tiny little cells. These are beefsteak tomatoes. I'm going to show you how to make good use of your resources. We planted all those seeds in that tiny cell using a very small bit of seed starting mix. I'm going to show you something. You can just sprinkle a lot of seeds in one cell just like that. And what I'm going to show you how to do is to divide these. This is called the dense sowing method. And you can put an entire seed pack in a little cup like this. It saves money. But once they get about that size, you need to separate them out and then pot them up. So I'm going to pot them up into little styrofoam cups with holes punched in the bottom, and they will live in here until I transplant them to their final home, whether that be in the garden or in a pot, or whether I give some of these away to friends and family. So I have something I want to try, a potting mix that I've received from OrchidSupplyStore.com, and they sent me a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of goodies to test and try and give my honest review. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to start with this potting mix. What I have here is Glacier Gold Professional Growers Blend, and this is well, it's compost, cocoa coir, and perlite, which is a perfect potting soil. And what I like about this is it smells good. It looks good. It looks like, well, it looks like good potting soil. I've been asked to review this stuff. Well, you can't just review a potting soil by looking at it. You got to grow in it and see how it performs. So we're going to use this stuff. Ken over at Orchid Supply Store sent me some of this, and I was a little concerned. He sent me a lot of products that have steer manure compost or compost-based products in them. And as you've seen on my videos, I can't trust compost. I can't trust manures that I don't know where they came from. And so what I did was took some of the steer manure compost that Ken sent me, and I started some seeds in that compost to do a bioassay. And the reason I want to do that is because many cows are grazed on fields that are sprayed with aminopyrrolate herbicides. And it's far more common today than not. Like I've said in the past, every spring, every growing season, I get questions with people sending me pictures of their plants saying, what's happening to my plants? The leaves are curling up and the stunted growth. What happens is that aminopyrrolate has made its way into their garden, either through hay that they used for mulch, or through compost that was from cows that were fed on fields sprayed with this Grazon or this aminopyrrolate. There's a number of commercial brand names for this stuff. The problem is it's persistent. It's persistent, keeps on killing for several years after it's been composted, gets in your garden, hard to get rid of. So I don't trust compost-based materials or manure-based materials unless I test them first. Well, here's what happened. I got my tomato seeds in my manure can that I was testing to sprout. That's great. They sprouted. Problem is that is heavy manure. It is almost all manure, and though it's been composted some, it's still pretty hot stuff. The plants are slowly growing. They're turning a little bit yellow because it's too rich for them. So I'm not sure that bioassay is going to come to fruition. But I contacted the company that makes this stuff. And they said, okay, tell us where your distributor was. I said, well, I got it from OrchidSupplyStore.com. And they tracked down the source of the manure they used in making those batches of materials in that part of the country. And, well, they said as far as their source knows, there was nothing sprayed out there. Here's why. The source is an Idaho steer farmer. It's a family farm, and they run their steer kind of out there in the wild. They don't run them on grazing pasture that's sprayed. And so I'm going to risk it. I'm going to use this stuff. I think that it's probably okay. I think that if you're running your cattle out in the wild there, out in Idaho, you're probably not spraying a pasture out there in the wild. You're probably letting your cows just roam, eat freely, and that's the manure that was used in making these products. So this has compost in it, cocoa coir and perlite. That compost probably has some manure in it. But this looks like really good stuff. So we're going to try it. We're going to start our tomato plants in this stuff, and I'll show you how to do that now. Once these tomato plants start to grow, I'll let you know how good this stuff is. Is it worth the price? It ain't cheap, but it's supposed to be some of the best stuff out there in terms of potting mixes, garden amendments, composts, This Mountain Gold stuff, or Mountain Magic, this Glacier Gold, this stuff is supposed to be really good. So, well, let's try it. I can fit 9 of these cups in my little tray here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to divide out 9 of these. I don't think I will even use but 2 or 3 of them in my garden, if that. The rest I'll give away. But I want to show you how easy it is to divide these tomato seedlings when you sow them in this dense planting method. Boy, this stuff does look pretty rich. It looks like good stuff. It is more finely ground than the potting mix you might get from Kellogg's, which is the normal stuff that I use, the common thing that I think most of us are probably familiar with, the Kellogg's brand in the blue and yellow bag down at the Home Depot. This looks a little bit more finely ground than the Kellogg's stuff, and that's helpful. All right, what we're going to do is pop one of these out, just like that. Move that out of the way. Now we have, oh, that's probably about 8 or 9, maybe 10 of these little seedlings. I'm going to just very gently work this plug apart. You don't really have to worry too much about tearing the roots so much. Tomato plants are so vigorous. We gently kind of tease them apart. All you want is something like that. You can see that tomato has a little bit of root on the end. That's all we need. So we'll just keep teasing these apart little by little. There's a couple of them there. There we go. They've got roots on them. That's a good one right there. And I'll select the ones that look like they have the most root mass on them after we separate these to plant in the little pots. There's a tiny little guy. He's going to go away. Let's see. And look how leggy these tomato plants are. That doesn't matter. That one broke off. That one doesn't have very many roots on it. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. There's a good one right there. Tomato plants that are leggy are no big deal. Sometimes you have people screaming at you, "Hey, those tomato plants are so leggy. What are you going to do?" Well, I'm just going to plant them deep. I'm going to make a hole in the pot. I'm going to take my leggy tomato plant and I'm going to shove it all the way down in there to the bottom and cover it up. Simple as that. That one doesn't look so hot, but it has good roots. We'll save that for later. Here's one. Again, I'm just going to make a deep hole. Get down in there, all the way to the bottom. Drop that in, shove it way down in there, and cover it. And I'll put these back under the lights where they've been growing. And they'll be able to get to plant out size while in these little pots. You can see they're starting to get their first true leaves. Those little leaves in the middle there, that's good to see. You're going to get dirt in your fingernails, gardening fingers. If you don't have dirt in your fingernails, are you even a gardener? Now, I have seen folks, especially Craig LaHoulier, who wrote the book Epic Tomatoes. What he'll do to plant these is he'll lay the plant on the soil like that and just shove it in, just like so. And that seems brutal, but that's how he does it, and it works. That's how I did it last year. All right, we have our second batch here. Just going to drop these right in and cover the roots. I'm going to put these in my seed tray, and they will grow to fruition until I plant them out. I really enjoy growing tomatoes. I think it's one of the quintessential crops in the American home garden, and I think they are actually the most popular thing to grow in North America. I like growing them because they're super easy. A lot of people make a big fuss out of tomatoes and talk about how hard they are to grow and to prune and to care for, but folks, if you just follow some very simple steps, there's a big chunk of something we got to break up. If you just follow some simple steps, you can learn tomato gardening, and it becomes fairly simple. It becomes pretty easy. I think anyone can really do it. Give them good soil, give them full sun, fertilize them regularly, prune them properly, which is fairly simple to learn, and you can grow all the tomatoes you can eat. This big beef, I think, no, not big beef, this is beefsteak. I've grown this in the past. It's a pretty good tomato. It's one of the larger tomatoes that I grow. So I'm looking forward to having some of that and sharing this with friends. My favorite tomato that's large, though, is the Amana Orange. It's an Amish tomato, and it's beautiful orange, golden orange color, almost a yellow. But yeah, that's my favorite one. I haven't grown that in years, though. I don't know why. Home again, jiggity jig. Alright, I need to water these in. I haven't done that yet. But we'll move them back up here where they belong, and then we'll water them in. Now, with these plants under the lights, it gets warm up here, and they're not covered with a humidity dome anymore. You have to pay attention to watering and stay on top of keeping these things irrigated. Want to make sure you get this potting mix nice and saturated. And the rest of it I'll just dump down in the bottom, and it can feed from the holes in the bottom of those cups. It can work its way up into the soil. Alright, so we've watered our plants in. Everything looks good. We'll let these sit under the lights. I'll drop the lights back down. But man, look at these peppers. Check these guys out. They look so healthy. Man, I'm so happy about this. One trick that I've seen folks use is a fan to blow on your plants. And that helps to stiffen up their stems and strengthen them for when they have to go out into the environment. Man, this was sterile seed mix and I still have weeds. But yeah, look at those peppers. That green is so lush. Man, that is a success trait right there. Alright, there's our spring gardening operation so far, along with our new single seed challenge. And right back there, there's those poor little tomatoes that are growing in that manure compost that it's too rich, too hot for them, but there they are. But man, that makes me happy. That makes me happy. Hey, thanks for joining me today on Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Being with me while we restarted our single seed challenge. You got to start over if it fails. Thanks for hanging out with us as we have up-potted some tomato seedlings. Hey, if you're interested in seeds for spring and you don't win the free seeds tomorrow night, go to Seeds for Generations and check them out. Seeds for Generations is a family-run business that they produce some really good garden seed. There's a link down below in the description area. If you use that link, you'll support our channel, and I really appreciate it. So all those seeds we're giving away tomorrow night are from Seeds from Generations. I hope to introduce you to a new seed company if you have never used them, and if you had, you know they produce some quality seeds. So Seeds for Generations, check them out. Well, that's how easy it is to pot up little tomato plants that you've densely sown in a cell. They can all grow up together. You don't have to worry about it. Once they get to about the size of 3 inches tall, you just pop them out and tease them apart. And just so long as they've got a little bit of roots on the bottom, you're good. Just plant those and water them in and put them back under the lights. And when it's time to start hardening them off to the elements outdoors, I'll show you how to do that as well. Real simple process. So that's how we did it, and I hope you learned something. I hope you learned that tomatoes are tougher than we generally think they are, and that you can grow tomatoes in a small space. So here's what's coming up. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, we're going to have a live stream, and on that live stream we're going to pick the 9 winners and 3 runners up, 9 winners for our seed giveaway. If you want to enter that seed giveaway, please go and look at my channel and find the video that says free seeds. We're having a seed giveaway with 9 seed packs, and each of these seed packs is worth 20 to 40 bucks each, and really a good opportunity to win some garden seeds for the spring. And I wanted to just share with you guys and give back to you guys, because the community down in my comment section is a wonderful community. I'm so grateful for all of you. We take Phoebe, my dog, in the morning for her surgery, so I'll give you updates on that as well. But tomorrow night, look for us online streaming, and we will announce the winners. If you miss it, just check back. It'll be archived on my website under past live streams on my channel. You'll be able to see if you won there. So, hey, thanks for joining me today, Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. Talk to you next time. Happy gardening to you. Bye-bye.